Hello! You know, winter is a special time for the kitchen. In the summer, we cook quickly and lightly. Salads, fresh vegetables, grilling. Everything is fast. But in winter, the kitchen becomes different. It slows down. Dishes simmer. Soups cooked for hours. And bread takes a long time to rise. And winter spices, they're different too. Not light, not refreshing. They warm you. They create a feeling as if you're sitting by a fireplace, even if there isn't one. Today, I want to tell you about my favorite winter spices. Not as a chef giving instructions, but as a keeper of stories. Because every spice is not just a powder in a jar. It's a journey. It's a memory. It's a way to make the most ordinary day a little more magical. We will go through the 6 spices. I'll tell you where they come from, what they do to a dish, and what feeling they create. Because good food is not just about taste. It's also about the sensation. Ready? Then let's begin. Cinnamon. If I were asked to choose one spice that smells like winter, I would choose this one. Cinnamon is tea bark. Yes, literally. Thin layers of cinnamon tea bark, dried and rolled into sticks It's harvested in Sri Lanka in Indonesia, where it's warm all year round. And how interesting, right? A spice from the tropics has become a symbol of winter. Cinnamon is a master of disguise. It can be sweet in pasties, in mulled wine, in hot chocolate, but it can also be savory. In Moroccan lamb tagines, in Indian curries. The secret is that cinnamon doesn't just add flavor, it adds depth, complexity. When you taste a dish with cinnamon, the flavor unfolds gradually. First sweetness, then a light spiciness, then warmth. I like to add cinnamon directly into the dough. No, just on top. It loves butter and sugar. They reveal it fully. And when the pasty just comes out of the oven, that aroma, it fills the whole house. For drinks, you can add ground cinnamon directly to coffee or cocoa. And if you want a more subtle aroma, put a cinnamon stick in the drink and let it stick. It will release the aroma slowly but completely. And here is what's amazing. Cinnamon is great not only in sweets. Try adding it to a meat dish along with garlic and tomatoes. Soundstage, right? But cinnamon softens the acidity of tomatoes and makes the meat velvety. This is one of the secrets of Moroccan cuisine. And there is one simple way to make your home cozy. Put a cinnamon stick in a pot of water. Add a few orange slices and put it on a low heat. Let it simmer. In half an hour, the whole house will smell like home. Warmth, holidays, memories. Cinnamon is not just a spice. It's a way to tell yourself, I deserved comfort. And this spice is special. It doesn't reveal itself right away. Cardamom grows in pots, green ones like little secret capsules. Inside are black seeds, and all the aroma is in these seeds. I love cardamom because you have to work with it. You can't just pour it in. You have to open the pot, take out the seeds, and crush them. It's a ritual, a sign of respect for the spice. When you do it by hand, slowly, you're already tuning into a different rhythm, to kitchen meditation. It comes from India. There it's called the Queen of Spices. It's one of the most expensive because harvested it is difficult. Each pot is picked by hand at a specific moment of ripening. Cardamom is freshness and warmth at the same time. Sounds contradictory, but try it and you'll understand. It's minting, but not cold. Spicy, but not hot. It's complex, multifaceted. In the Middle East, they add it to coffee. A pinch of ground cardamom directly into the Jezaway. The coffee becomes completely different, deeper, with this amazing aftertaste. In India, they put it in masala tea along with other spices. In Scandinavia, they baked cardamom buns. It's a Christmas tradition there, and everywhere it does the same thing. It creates a feeling of a holiday, a feeling that this moment is special. I love adding a pinch of ground cardamom to my morning tea. I'll let it steep for 5 minutes. The taste becomes multifaceted, as if it has layers. First, you feel the tea. Then, this fresh note. Then, the warmth. In baking, cardamom is also beautiful. Sweet dough, gingerbread, cakes. It adds such sophistication, and here is one of my favorite breakfasts. oatmeal with cardamom, honey and nuts. Sounds simple, right? But it's a breakfast that makes the morning better. That says today will be a good day. And there's one secret combination I adore: cardamom and orange. Take a glass of orange juice, fresh or regular, it doesn't matter, and add the smallest pinch of ground cardamom. Literally all the tip of a knife. Stir it and try it. It's as if ordinary juice suddenly woke up. It sparkles in a new way. Cardamom teaches us that the most valuable things are hidden inside, and to get them you need to make an effort, but it's worth it. And look at her. She's small, right? Like a tiny nail. That's where the name comes from. But she's powerful. One clove can change the taste of a whole pot of soup. It's a spice you have to be careful with. It doesn't forgive mistakes. Add too much and the dish turns into medicine. But if you hit the mark, it's magic. It comes from Indonesia, from the island of Zanzibar. Cloves are the unopened buds of the clove tea. They are harvested when they are still pink. and dried in the sun. They darken and become like this, hard, concentrated. Clove is depth, warmth, slightly sweet, with a hint of bitterness. It's indispensable in malt wine. Without it, it's just heated wine with spices. With it, it's a drink that warms you from the inside. In meat marinades, it works like a wizard. It softens and deepens the flavor. In spicy spice, it creates that very Christmas note, but its main property is that it holds the aroma. If you add clove to a broth and then freeze it, the aroma will remain. If you add it to dough, it will smell even a week later. Clove is an anchor for other scents. There is an old kitchen trick for broth and soups. Take an onion, a regular yellow one, and stick 2 or 3 cloves in it, like you're driving in small nails. Put this onion in the pot with the broth and cook as usual. When the broth is ready, just remove the onion along with the cloves, and aroma will remain soaking through the whole dish, but it won't overpower other flavors. This works especially well with chicken broth. For marinades add cloves, whole or ground. It works great with meat, especially pork and lamb. It gives such depth, such a warm note. In mulled wine or spicy tea, use very little, 2 or 3 pieces per liter. That's enough. No more is needed, believe me. And in baking, clove is friends with cinnamon and ginger. This is a classic gingerbread tier. Together they create that very smell of Christmas that everyone recognizes, but no one can describe. And here is something important to know. Cloves have a light, an aesthetic effect. If you chew one, your tongue will go numb. They used to chew it for toothaches. So, if a whole clove ends up in your dish, don't chew it, just set it aside. It has already done its job. Clove teaches us that strength is not always in size. Sometimes the smallest thing has the biggest impact. Sometimes one pound is enough to change everything. And this is my secret ingredient for any sauce. Nutmeg is the seed of a tropical tea, large, hard, like a small stone. You can buy it whole and grate it on a fine grater. And that's when the magic happens. A fresh aroma that fills the kitchen, but ground works perfectly too if it's fresh. The main thing is not the one that's been sitting in the cupboard for a year. Nutmeg adds velvetness, not just a taste, but a texture of sensation. It's hard to explain until you try it. Any sauce with nutmeg becomes more enveloping, creamy, even if there is no cream in it. It's sweetish, warm, slightly woody. It's used in bechamel, in mashed potatoes, in pumpkin soup, in egg dishes. I always add nutmeg to mashed potatoes, just a tiny bit on the tip of a knife, literally a pinch for the pot, and I add it at the very end when the potatoes are already done. I stir it, and the mash turns from a side dish into comfort on a plate. It's that exact dish you born to eat when your heart feels heavy, when you need to feel cared for. In hot milk with hurry before bed, nutmeg works wonders. It relaxes, it calms, it creates a feeling that everything will be fine. In eggnog at Christmas, it's indispensable. There is that light spice, that hint of holiday. And here is something interesting. Nutmeg and spinach. They're best friends. I don't know why, but they are just made for each other. Maybe because spinach itself is quite neutral and nutmeg gives it character. Any dish with spinach, a pie, a casserole, or just sauteed spinach. Add a pinch of nutmeg at the very end, and you'll see the difference. Spinach suddenly becomes interesting. And there is something very cozy about standing at the stove and adding nutmeg to a dish. This action slows you down. You take a small pinch, sprinkle it, stir it. It reminds you that good food doesn't tolerate rushing, that sometimes one small detail is enough to turn an ordinary dish into something special. Ginger. It's special because it can be so different. Fresh ginger is bright, sharp, refreshing. It wakes you up. It invigorates. Dried ground ginger is warm, soft, cozy. It warms and calms. It's like two different people with the same name. In winter, I use both, but in different ways. They solve different tasks. Fresh ginger is my salvation when I feel like I'm starting to get sick. I slice it into thin rounds. The thinner, the better. Pour boiling water over it. add a lemon slice and a spoonful of honey. I let it steep for 10 minutes and I drink it slowly. It's the best cold remedy I know. It gives warmth from the inside. In Asian cuisine, fresh ginger works in a tea with garlic and soy sauce. It the holy trinity of flavor. Saute them together in a pan, and the whole house will be filled with this incredible aroma. Sharp but pleasant. This is the base for hundreds of dishes, and fresh ginger also tenderizes meat. If you marinate chicken or pork with grated ginger, the meat will become tender and it will get that light piquancy that doesn't overpower but highlights. Dried ground ginger is a completely different story. It's about baking, about gingerbread, ginger cookies, cakes. It's about that smell associated with Christmas and coziness. Ground ginger in the top gives such a pleasant warmth. It doesn't burn, it precisely warms. In mulled wine, ground ginger works together with cinnamon and cloves. They complement each other. They create this complex composition of aromas where every spice is heard, but together they sound like a quiet. You can add a pinch of ground ginger to your morning oatmeal or in tea. It will give a little kick which wakes you up. And ginger also pairs beautifully with other ingredients. It has its favorite pairs, and each pair solves its own tasks. Ginger with honey, the classic our grandmothers used, and for good reason. It works. It's about health, about self-care. A spoonful of grated ginger mixed with honey, and you have a remedy for a cold that's also delicious. Ginger with lemon is about vegan, about energy. Morning tea with ginger and lemon, and you're all ready for the day. Even if you didn't sleep enough, even if it's grey too cold outside. Ginger with cinnamon is about warming up, about coziness. Malt wine, hot apple cider, all these winter drinks, they don't work without this pair. Together, ginger and cinnamon create a feeling of a holiday, and ginger with turmeric is about healthcare on a deep level. Both have anti-inflammatory effects. There is a drink called golden milk, warm milk with turmeric, ginger and honey. It's not just a trendy drink, it's truly healthy. It's as if you're hugging your body from the inside. See, ginger is a team player. It's not a solo star. It's the one that makes others better, that strengthens, that creates harmony. Ginger is a spice that cares for you. It doesn't just make food tasty. It makes you healthier, more alert, warmer. It gives strength. In winter, when it gets dark early and you want to hide under the blanket and not come out, Ginger says, "Get up, I'll give you fire, I'll give you energy. You can handle this." The last spice of our winter list is the most ordinary one, the one that stands on every table, the one we don't even think about: black pepper. We're so used to it that we don't notice it. We just grate it without a second thought. But think for a second. Wars were for overeat. Trade routes when laid across ocean because of it. Its weight was measured in gold. Literally, a peppercorn cost as much as a gold coin. It was called black gold. And you know what? It deserved it. Black pepper is not just heat, it's depth. Its warmth reveals other flavors. It makes food more alive, more three-dimensional. There are dishes that simply don't work without pepper. They exist, but they don't live. A steak without paper is just meat. A steak with paper is an event. Pasta carbonara stands on 3 pillars: eggs, cheese, pepper. Take away the pepper and it becomes bland. Caesar salad without freshly ground pepper is not a Caesar, while even strawberries with pepper are a discovery. Sounds crazy, but try it. Pepper highlights the sweetness of strawberries like nothing else. And here is what's important to understand about pepper. Freshly ground and ground from a packet are 2 different spices. Ground pepper that has been sitting for a long time loses almost everything. It only has heat left, but the aroma is gone. And the whole point of pepper is in the aroma. Buy a grinder, the simplest one. Fill it with black peppercorns and grind right over the dish. You'll feel the difference immediately. It's like day and night. And add pepper at the end of cooking, not at the beginning. It doesn't like long heating. The essential oils that give that aroma evaporate. Only the vibrancy remains, and we need the whole bouquet. Another secret: pepper unfolds in fat, not in water. The active substances in paper are fat soluble. Therefore, pepper in a butter sauce, in bream, in an olive oil dresses. It works at full power, but in watery dishes its potential is lost. Black pepper reminds us that sometimes the most important things are the ones we don't notice. It's everywhere, in every kitchen, in every dish. But that's exactly why it's indispensable. It's a king of spices, but it rules quietly, unnoticeably. It doesn't shout about itself. It just makes everything better. Here they are, 6 winter spices: cinnamon, cardamom, cloves, nutmeg, ginger, black pepper. Do you know what their real magic is? Not in making food tastier, but in creating a feeling. When you add cinnamon to dough, you create a holiday. When you crush cardamom, you perform a ritual. When you add nutmeg, you slow down. Spices are not just ingredients, they are tools for creating an atmosphere, a mood, memories. My grandmother used to say, food cooked with love always tastes better. For a long time, I didn't understand what that meant. How can love affect taste? It's just chemistry, temperature, time. But now I understand. Love is attention. It's when you add spices mindfully, not automatically. When you smell them, when you think about what they will do to the dish, when you imagine how the person you're cooking for will take the first spoonful and smile. That's where love is, in these small, mindful actions. And the most beautiful thing is you don't need to be a chef to understand this. You don't need to know how to cook complex dishes. Start small. Tomorrow morning, when you make coffee, add a pinch of cinnamon. Slowly, mindfully. Smell it first. Imagine how it will unfold in the hot drink, and when you take the first sip, pay attention not only to the taste. Pay attention to how you feel. In the evening, when you drink tea before bed, put some cardamom in it. Literally a pinch. And let it steep. Drink slowly, without a phone, without rushing. Just you and a cup of tea. Next time you make mashed potatoes, grate some nutmeg in there on the tip of a knife and feel how an ordinary dish became special. Because good food is not about being full. It's not about calories or nutrition. It's about feeling at home, safe, warm, cared for. Spices help create this feel. They're like bridges between the ordinary and the special, between the everyday and the festive. Winter is long, dark, cold. It's easier to get lost in this grayness, in this infinity of short days. It's easy to forget that you deserve warmth and comfort, but we have spices, we have the kitchen, we have the ability to create coziness with our own hands. This isn't magic in the sense of visitor. It's magic in the sense of the ability to turn the simple into the precious. So go to the kitchen, open a jar of spices, smell it, close your eyes and imagine where the spice will take you. What memory it will wake up? What feeling it will create? And then add it to your dish, slowly, mindfully, with respect, and create your own little piece of warmth. Thank you for being with me today. I hope these spices warm your winter just as they warm mine. See you soon in the warmth of our kitchens.